The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. China has warned the Philippines that it must act with caution following a string of incidents in the disputed West Philippine Sea. This follows a phone call between Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. It's believed to be their first dialogue since the water cannon incident and collision in Ayungin Shoal last December 10. Secretary Manalo said it was a frank and candid exchange that ended with a clearer understanding of each country's respective position on a number of issues. Manalo said he and Wang noted the importance of dialogue in addressing these issues. But the Chinese foreign minister was more somber, saying in a lengthy statement, bilateral relationship now stands at a crossroads. With its future yet to be decided, the Philippine side must act with caution. He added that the severe difficulties facing China-PH relations are rooted in the fact that the Philippine side has changed its policy stance, reneged on its promises it has made, constantly provoked troubles at sea, and undermined China's legitimate and lawful rights. China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin also urged the Philippines to make a prudent choice in addressing the dispute. He reaffirmed China's consistent commitment to managing disputes through dialogue. Meanwhile, for the government side, Senate Deputy Majority Leader J.V. Ejercito said that the Senate is in support of pursuing joint patrols that will help deter incidents of Chinese bullying in the West Philippine Sea.
That's one of the recommendation of the Senate to improve the relationship and have these joint patrols and with our traditional allies like South Korea, Japan, US, Australia, and with ASEAN countries that have similar disputes with China. At least there's strength in numbers.
With 3 days to go till Christmas, the holiday rush becomes more evident as passengers flock non-stop to transport hubs. The Ninoy Aquino International Airport is now seeing a thicker crowd and longer lines across all terminals. Traffic is also beginning to build up at roads around the airport and the ramp leading to the departure area due to the number of vehicles dropping off passengers. Checking in on the port, several passengers faced delays in their trips at the North Port. Some travelers were also forced to stay at the port overnight after their trips had been rescheduled for the next day. Passengers at Batangas Port have begun piling up, with some taking up 2 hours before finally securing tickets. The Philippine Ports Authority earlier said it expects 5 million passengers to travel by boat this holiday season. The PPA has also called for additional trips to make sure Filipinos make it back to their provinces in time for Christmas. The Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange expects a wave of passengers today on the last working day before Christmas. PTEC says most trips are already fully booked from December 26 to 29. However, the terminal says this year's holiday rush is not as heavy as the previous year. Now let's check in on the traffic situation along NLEX. Traffic at the Balintawak Toll Plaza is still fairly light, save for some buildup at the cash lanes. No traffic buildups yet either at Mapulang Lupa in Valenzuela, Mindanao Toll Plaza, May Kawayan, Bukawi Toll Plaza, and Tulaok Bridge. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Senator Amy Marcos expresses dismay over the NTC ordering a 30-day suspension against Sunshine Media Network International, or SMNI. In a statement, she said, "Who's afraid of SMNI? Which media entities will remain to uphold the freedom of the press, speech, and thought?" She went on to say, quote, "The right to due process and freedom of the press are cornerstones of our system of government. Unfortunately, these have not been adhered to in the NTC's decision to suspend SMNI's operations." Senator Marcos also says this will have a chilling effect. But in an interview on The Big Story, Center for Media Freedom and Responsibility trustee Vergel Santos said Senator Amy should be the last to open her mouth on the issue. Santos notes that Amy is, quote, "a daughter of martial law, where the free press was silenced and controlled by the military, and that she was also favored by former President Duterte." Asked whether SMNI deserves to have its franchise revoked, Santos says it's for the courts to decide. He notes, though, that the network does deserve to be sanctioned for its supposed flagrant abuse of broadcast privileges.
I want to ask the same question. When they said that, did ABS-CBN deserve it? I said, definitely, ABS-CBN did not deserve it. But what I'm saying now is that SMNI deserve to be sanctioned, definitely, but whether that sanction should be revocation of its franchise is another matter.
The Health Department reports over 190,000 cases of influenza-like illness nationwide so far this year. Based on the latest disease surveillance report of the DOH, there were over 193,000 influenza or flu-like cases from January 1 to November 25. The number is 50% higher than the 128,000 influenza-like illness reported during the same period last year. The DOH has since reminded the public to have themselves tested via antigen tests and follow the proper health protocols to prevent the spread of the illness. Let's now take a quick look at other stories we're watching. Malacanang has belied the fake presidential proclamation circulating on social media that supposedly declared a half-day work suspension today. Protocols to prevent the spread of the illness by the document had been posted by no less than Presidential Assistant for Strategic Communications Cesar Chavez, who has since apologized for the post. Another key witness in former Senator Laila de Lima's third and final drug case has expressed intent to recant his testimony. Retired Police Brigadier General Jerry Valeroso says he was disturbed by his conscience. And Olympic pole vaulter EJ Obiena was recognized as one of the People of the Year by Stargate People Asia magazine. It's been quite the year for Obiena as he won no less than 15 medals, including a gold medal at the Asian Games. In addition to these achievements, Obiena achieved various accomplishments and records, such as being the only Asian to enter the 6-meter club in pole vault. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again at 11:15 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.